we get to the crux of this part of the program, we are going to have remarks by the wonderful Minister for Youth, Honorable George Opare Addo. A round of applause. You can do better.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Before I read the speech I have, Richard Niamakwe was here a few minutes ago and he spoke about investment in young people. The Ministry for Youth Development is a pretty new ministry. So when we were established, we had initial challenges with funding. And we were faced with a situation about drug abuse in our various secondary schools. One fine morning, I get a phone call from a friend. He says, a gentleman wants to come and meet with you. So I was wondering who this gentleman was. And then one day, they told me they were going to come. So Richard and his friends came to my office, and his concern was, what are we doing about drugs and the menace that it's causing to our young folks? I said, we are on. As a ministry, we've launched what we call Red Means Stop. But because we are a new ministry, we still have challenges with funding. He wrote us a check of 500,000 Ghana cedis. And that money was used in researching into our tertiary institutions and then our second cycle institutions. So Richard, the government of Ghana and the youth of Ghana are very grateful for what you did for us. Mr. Gabi Asara-Tradakon, the brain behind the African Prosperity Dialogue, the board members of the African Prosperity Dialogue, CEOs who are here to support today's program, senior officials of AFTA, development partners, young leaders and innovators, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive me, I'm battling a cold, so if my voice is not coming up well, sincere apologies. I bring you warm greetings from His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, a man deeply committed to youth empowerment and to the success of the African Continental Free Trade Area. We are gathered here at the African Prosperity Dialogue with one goal, to build a single, integrated, and prosperous African market, a vision that will remain a blueprint on paper unless we are intentional in designing it, building it, and entrusting it to our youth. When I had the invitation to speak on this all-important platform, I had a deep reflection on the theme, empowering SMEs, women and youth in Africa's single market, innovate, collaborate, trade. And at the heart of this, a fundamental question dawned on me. Are we preparing our youth enough to own the narrative of the single market agenda or to be mere passengers on this journey? Are we equipping them enough to be the architects, the engineers, and the drivers, or to be just spectators? Africa today stands at a defining moment in its history. More than 60% of our population is under the age of 25. This is not merely a demographic statistic. It is a statement of potential. It is energy, creativity, resilience, and ambition on an unprecedented scale. And with these numbers are real lives that must be looked into and protected. The AFTA is a very important economic integration project that promises scale, opportunity, and shared prosperity. But let me be clear, the AfCFTA will not succeed on tariffs, protocols, or institutions. It will succeed only if Africa's young people are empowered to lead the charge through deliberate skills education and innovation. This is precisely why this Youth Prosperity Dialogue is necessary and the central pillar of Africa's prosperity agenda. In Ghana, we have taken deliberate steps to place youth at the heart of national development through the establishment of the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. Our mandate is clear: to move youth policies beyond short-term interventions and towards sustainable systems that support skills, enterprise, leadership, and economic inclusion. Our work is anchored on 5 pivotal pillars, which I believe are essential for an integrated Africa. The 5 pillars include health and well-being, training and skills development, economic empowerment, civic engagement, and community participation, and most importantly, their personal development and leadership. We recognize the importance of youth empowerment. When young people thrive, productivity rises, innovation accelerates, and societies grow more resilient. That is why Ghana has invested in concrete, scalable initiatives. Through the Jumera program, government is supporting young entrepreneurs with business training, productive equipment, mentorship, and market access, targeting the creation and growth of thousands of youth-led businesses. And just outside, we have the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, a stand to exhibit what we are doing with the Jumera program. Through the National Apprenticeship Program, we are expanding access to technical and vocational skills for young people in both urban and rural communities, ensuring that skills development is aligned with real economic demand. And the apprenticeship program too has a stand outside the exhibition stands, and so you can see what they are doing when you go out. We have also embraced digital transformation as an enabler of opportunity. The National Youth Tracker platform and the Youth Explorer app are helping young people access information on jobs, training, entrepreneurship support, scholarships, and apprenticeship through a single digital interface while strengthening evidence-based policy making. Across our agencies, we are reinforcing pathways from education to work and enterprise. The Youth Employment Agency is providing structured work experience and has introduced international work exposure programs to enhance skills and global competitiveness. The National Service Authority is strengthening post-service transition into employment and entrepreneurship. The National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program is nurturing startups and innovators in priority sectors such as agribusiness, manufacturing, digital services, and the creative economy. But whilst national action is essential, it is not sufficient. Our national efforts, however, are merely a single thread in the vast tapestry we must weave together as a continent. Africa's single market demands continental thinking and cross-border collaboration. Young Africans must see the AfCFTA not as abstract agreement, but as a lived opportunity. An opportunity to scale businesses beyond national borders, an opportunity to collaborate across cultures and markets, an opportunity to turn ideas into enterprise that serve 1.5 billion people. The data is clear and compelling. Africa's population is projected to reach 2.5 billion by 2050, and the majority will be under 25. According to the African Development Bank, each year, 12 million youth enter the job market, whilst only 3 million have access to formal jobs. And the sad aspect is that even these jobs with AI may become obsolete in the near future. This is not a crisis. It is our continent's most pressing investment opportunity. Our collective prosperity depends on converting this demographic surge into a productive, innovative, and integrated generation. Last year at the UN, I made a statement and I said, in the next 10 years, the world will be looking to Africa for labor. But the question I put is, would Africa be ready? I know Ghana will be ready. But whether Africa will be ready, because Ghana alone being ready will not be enough to support Africa. I therefore strongly recommend the adoption of the AfCFTA Youth Acceleration Framework, focused on 3 priority areas: the mutual recognition of vocational and digital skills through an AfCFTA skills passport to promote labor mobility, the establishment of a Pan-African Youth Venture Financing Facility, capitalized by continental financial institutions to support scalable youth-led enterprise, and the integration of a mandatory youth impact assessment across all AfCFTA protocols. to ensure youth perspectives are systematically embedded in Africa's trade and integration agenda. And I believe strongly that this is the only way that we'll be able to break these barriers. Because we are dealing with a population that is big and is the majority. And so their views, their opinions matter and must be brought on board. Distinguished colleagues, the integrated Africa we dream of will be built by the young woman coding a seamless payment platform in Lagos, the young man managing a climate-smart export hub in Tamale, and the graduate launching a telehealth service from Johannesburg that serves the entire region. This is why today's focus on innovate, collaborate, trade is so timely. Innovation, collaboration, and trade are central to unlocking youth-led growth in Africa. Whilst young Africans are already driving solutions across key sectors, persistent barriers such as limited finance, infrastructural gaps, and regulatory fragmentations must be addressed, strengthening cross-border collaboration through networks, value chains, and partnership will amplify impact whilst equipping youth-led enterprises to effectively participate in AfCFTA trade. This dialogue has set itself ambitious but necessary objectives to provide a high-level platform for engagement, to spotlight youth-led innovations, to foster mentorship and partnership, and to develop a Youth Action Compact. The Youth Action Compact is critical. It must be practical. A lot of the times, it is a lot of big English, but not realistic. But this must be practical, actionable, and bold. It must speak to access to funds, to finance, skills development, digital inclusion, and policy coherence. And it must be owned not just by governments, but by the private sector, development partners, and the youth themselves. So they must become key architects and engineers of whatever policies that we craft. Let me assure you, Ghana stands ready to champion the outcome of this dialogue. We are committed to working with the AfCFTA Secretariat, the African Prosperity Network, and our continental partners to translate ideas into implementation. To the young people in this room and across Africa, I say this: the future of Africa's single market is not waiting for you. It depends on you. Your ideas, your enterprise, your courage to innovate and collaborate will define whether Africa competes or become mere consumers. To policymakers and business leaders, I say, invest in youth, not as beneficiaries, but as partners. Create space for them at decision-making tables. De-risk their enterprises. Trust their capacities to lead. If we get this right, Africa's youth will not only drive the AfCFTA, they will redefine it. Africa's place in the global economy. They will redefine Africa's place in the global economy. Let this youth prosperity dialogue mark a turning point, a moment where ambition meets action, where dialogue leads to delivery, and where Africa's youth take their rightful place at the center of our shared prosperity. I wish you a fruitful deliberation and look forward to the presentation of the Youth Action Compact. Thank you, and may God bless us all. May Africa continue to prosper.
Thank you very much, Honorable George Opare Addo, Minister for Youth.